Welcome to the Panic Attack Recovery Podcast, an ongoing source of practical strategies and tips for anxiety and ADHD. We're a collaboration of former sufferers helping those currently struggling with anxiety, panic attacks, and ADHD so they can express their true competencies in life. Now, here is Matthew, your host.
Often the anxiety sufferer can be hit with a wave of anxious thoughts when his or her mind is unoccupied. It's as if anxiety comes in and fills the void. Before we had these terrible thoughts, we weren't really thinking about anything, or so it seemed. Now suddenly, we are overwhelmed by all of these anxiety-provoking thoughts. Other times, we might find ourselves ruminating over something from the past. Well, there are many strategies we can deploy to tackle these thoughts and emotions, which we have talked about in previous episodes. That is not necessarily what's required here. What's the solution? It's surprisingly simple. We need to occupy our minds with something productive. This is because ADHD and anxiety sufferers often procrastinate about the tasks they have to do, and they become anxious, which creates a vicious cycle of procrastination and anxiety about what they have not gotten done yet, and this makes them even more anxious. I'm not saying we should always be occupied with our work and responsibilities, or we shouldn't ever use other strategies to handle anxious thoughts that hit us out of the blue. I'm saying we have to be careful with an idle mind. Even when we are relaxed and on vacation, for example, we often keep ourselves occupied with leisurely activities. Even rest and relaxation is still purposeful to the vacation. But context is very important. If there are things you could be doing, but you're instead spacing out, this can make you susceptible to what I am talking about here. So it is when we are in this foggy headspace, when we have things we should be doing, and instead we are neither relaxing nor doing anything constructive, where we need to be more aware. I think we often become anxious at such times because we feel guilty about not doing the things we know at some level we ought to be doing, or we are simply aware that we are not doing anything purposeful and wasting something that is a precious commodity for all of us, and that is time. Since time is so valuable, if you pay attention more to what you are doing with it, you can make yourself much happier in the long run.
Thank you for listening to the Panic Attack Recovery Podcast. Make sure that you have subscribed to our podcast and please comment and rate us on iTunes or wherever you listen to your podcasts. All show notes and links are accessible from our website. Please visit our site and subscribe to our free newsletter at panicattackrecovery.com. All information has been provided for educational purposes. Please consult a healthcare professional about any disorder or condition and the applicability of any information provided in this podcast.